Hello everyone, welcome into another video. So today I do want to discuss about the debate about the Players Championship. Should it be a fifth major or not? So this has been a a big topic over the past few years. This seems to kind of get brought up like almost around this time of year. Obviously, the players are next month, so we're a month away from the Players Championship. And for the past few years, there's been a debate about the Players Championship. Should it be recognized as a major championship? Should it be the fifth major and stuff? And like I think the Players Championship is a good golf tournament. I do think it is a fun tournament to watch every year. I do enjoy watching the Players Championship. And TPC Sawgrass, the golf course um that the Players Championship is played every year. It is a really tough golf course. The 17 hole, you know, it's a lot of fun to watch the 17 hole at TPC Sawgrass. And yes, the golf course is suited up for a major championship. But do I think it should be the fifth major? No, I don't think it should be. I know some people do treat it as the Players Championship to be the fifth major, but I do think that there's better. I do think there's other events that could better be suited to be the fifth major. Obviously, I know Randall. Let me get to his let me get to this post here. So obviously Randall Shamlin. Obviously, Randall Shamlin is a polarizing figure in the game of golf, and he's one of the guys. He's not really afraid to really speak his mind out. He has some pretty interesting takes and stuff. A lot of people do have their mixed feelings on Randall Shamlin. Obviously, I'm not really the biggest fan of Randall Shamlin. I just do think that a lot of his takes you know, are kind of really questionable and debatable. But let's listen to what Randall said. Had to say here.
Major worthy. First of all, we do live froms from major championships. We've been doing a live from the Players Championship since 2004, since I first started working at the Golf Channel. Just by that mere fact, we give it the attention of a major championship. We give it that prestige. So when you say, should it be a major championship, what constitutes a major championship? Of course, it's history and tradition and reverence and all those things. But at core, these are hard events to win. They're meant to be harder events to win because of the pressure, because of the setup, because everything's right on that line. So they got to be hard events to win. They got to be great fields. They got to produce indelible champions and indelible moments. When you look at the Players Championship, with all due respect to the other four major championships, it is the best field in golf. It is the deepest field in golf. And by virtue of the fact that only one person in its 50-year history has managed to successfully defend it, I would argue that it is the hardest major championship to win. All the others have had far surpassing numbers of those successfully defending it.
Well, the Players is not a major, dude.
So, especially since it moved to the TPC Sawgrass, which in my estimation, save one hole, is perhaps arguably the best golf course that they play a major championship on from a shot values perspective. You can talk about aesthetics all you want, risk reward holes, certainly, but from a shot values standpoint, you cannot touch the TPC Sawgrass. So in every single way that a metric could be used to measure whether something is a major, The Players, to me, stands alone and above all the other four major championships as not just a major. It is, in my estimation, the best major.
The best major. So yeah, he's basically just treating the Players Championship as a major championship. So yeah, I mean, I get where he's coming from. To be honest, I know, what he said about there's only been one player who successfully defended the title at the Players Championship. Yeah, that was Scotty Scheffler a couple years ago. I mean, it is hard to defend at the Players Championship. It is a tough golf course. It is a test at TPC Sawgrass every year, but yeah, they do live from the Players Championship. So yeah, they do give it the attention as a major championship, but I think that you could have other events beat the fifth major. Like I don't think the Players Championship should beat the fifth major. Like I think the Australian Open maybe could beat the fifth major. I know some people have brought up the idea that the Australian Open should be the fifth major. I mean, that wouldn't be the worst idea out there. Obviously, Australia has produced some good golfers over the decades, so I do think that would be a good choice. And I even heard some people said the South African Open should be the fifth major. Same thing with Australia. Um, they have produced good golfers in South Africa over the decades. I even saw one person brought up that they should have the Asian Pacific Open beat the fifth major. I mean, that would not be the worst idea. Obviously, I know the Asian Pacific have amateur events. Um, they do have amateur events, but they don't have like any professional golf events. So, I mean, that would not be the worst decision out there. Obviously, if that were to be the fifth major, you will have events taking place in like Asia. You will have events in Australia, New Zealand, in the Middle East. But you leave continental Europe, South Africa, South America out of having a major championship. I think what could beat the fifth major. I do think maybe you could have a international major championship be the fifth major. I do think that would be a good idea. You could have a major championship in like Japan, South Korea, Germany, South Africa, Australia. You can have a major championship in those spots. eh, In those spots, like I do think if there were to be a fifth major, maybe have an international major championship. You can host major championships all around the world because most of the major championships you have three in the US, you have one in the UK, but there's no major championships outside of the United States and the UK at all. And I think would be good to have a international major championship to beat the fifth major. You could like try to grow the game of golf. Like you can have a major championship in like non um golf in countries like Brazil, um, Dubai, India, Malaysia, Vietnam. You can have a major championship in those countries. Like I think that it would be a good idea to just um have a just have those type of just have a international major. Like so yeah, so a international major, how it will work is you know the US and the UK won't be eligible to host any major championships at all. So the US and the UK, they wouldn't be eligible since they have their own major championships. So yeah, I do think having an international major championship will be the best idea to have the fifth major. So yeah, guys. So I know the LPGA has five major. I know women's golf have five majors. I do believe the senior men's tour have five major as well. Yeah, um, there is some tours out there like the LPGA and the senior tour. They have five majors every year. So we're not gonna talk about the LPGA should consider having a sixth major. The sixth major, like at all. So yeah, what do you guys think? So I do want to kind of get to the winners here. I kind of want to do a little bit of a recap on the golf. So this will be pretty quick here. So Patrick Reed off to a hot start so far this season. He wins the Qatar Masters. So yeah, Patrick Reed continues to play good golf in the Middle East. Won in Dubai, lost in the playoff in Bahrain, and then went to Qatar. So looks like Patrick Reed is on his way back to the PGA Tour. So yeah, I do think Patrick Reed is coming back to the PGA Tour in 2027. Um, so yeah, it seems very likely that he's coming back to the PGA Tour, barring any epic collapse from him. So yeah, congrats to Captain America on winning the Qatar Master. So yeah, and then you got Chris Goddard winning the Waste Management Phoenix Open. He gets his second win um, of the season. So yeah, Chris Goddard, he's been off to a good start so far this season. Obviously, won in Hawaii. Um, Goddard's win in Hawaii just last month, and he had to shoot a low score just to be good enough to be in the playoff with Hideki Matsuyama, who basically just couldn't even hit a fairway at all in the final round, and you know, it just the dude just couldn't even drive the ball off the tee here, and just constantly just missing the fairway and all that stuff. And then at 18, he found the bunker and made bogey at the 72nd hole, and then lost in the playoffs to Chris Goddard. So yeah, and Hideki Matsuyama just really couldn't even hit a fairway at all day yesterday. And obviously, the fans were just, obviously, I heard that, I saw that when Hideki Matsuyama was trying to do his thing, there was a fan that interrupted him, and like, I mean, the fan just goes super out of control in this event, man. Like, I understand, it's a fun event, It's a fun event, but I just think the fans should just chill, man. Like just chill. And I even heard that one person got banned for life. I believe his name is Jack. Um, I don't really know his last name. I think it starts with a D or something like that. He got banned for life just because he offered a fan $100 to yell jackass to one of the PGA Tour players. I believe it was Mackenzie Hughes. That that was yelled at by a fan, and then yeah, he got banned for life. From attending any PGA Tour event. So yeah, just think the fans, man, they just need to relax in this event, man. Like I understand you're trying to have fun. That's really the part of the event is just to have fun, but it's just the fans just need to really calm down at all. They just need to calm down and you know. But yeah, Chris Garlock, he's you know off to a great start. Scotty Scheffler made a good run at the final round, but wasn't enough for him to win at all. So yeah, then we got Evan Smiley. Liv Golf started their season in Riyadh, and Evan Smiley ended up winning the Riyadh Championship Invitational, whatever it's called. So yeah, he won in his live debut. So yeah, that event was under the lights. So he hold up John Rahm. So yeah, so Liv played the first 72 hole event in their entire existence. So yeah, this event was took place under the lights. So yeah, it took place at night, and Evan Smiley, who joined Rapid GC at during the off season, ended up winning the Riyadh Invitational. So yeah, so now Liv is gonna go to Adelaide um, for their event next week. So and yeah, Rapid GC ended up winning the team championship. So I mean, I didn't really watch too much of it. It was like I was really busy over the weekend. I didn't even watch much golf. I only watched the final round. I did watch a bit of the second round. Didn't watch the third round. I was out of town on Saturday for um I was out of town on Saturday to the Bay Area. But I did watch the final round of the Waste Management Phoenix Open, and yeah, it was a good leaderboard going into the final round. There was a lot of players that were in contention. Um, and yeah, Chris Garner got the job done in that event. So I didn't really want to make this video too long. But yeah, I do want to get this video under my chest here. So yeah, guys, thank you guys for watching. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button, and like the channel. See you guys later. Bye.